Not all cigar smokers are the same, and today we're going to prove it.
Welcome to the Cigar and Whiskey Podcast, where every episode takes you deeper into the stories, traditions, and flavors that make cigars and spirits unforgettable. So pour a glass, light a stick, and settle in.
Welcome back to the Cigar and Whiskey Guide podcast. Today, we're going to have some fun. Instead of diving into wrappers, fermentations, or tasting notes, we're talking about the people behind the cigars. Because if you've spent any time in a lounge, at a herf, or even just in a friend's backyard, you know this. Cigar smokers have personalities, and they're not all the same. Some treat their cigar like it's a sacred ritual. Others light up without a second thought, just happy to be outside with a drink and some good company. And then, of course, there are the collectors, the sophisticates, and the newbies who still can't quite figure out how to cut the cap without destroying it. Today, we're exploring 6 of the most common cigar smoker personalities. You might see yourself in one, you might see yourself in 2, maybe all 6, and that's okay, because that's what makes cigar culture so diverse, so interesting, and honestly, so much fun. Let's dive in. First up is Tommy the Traditionalist. Now, Tommy isn't just smoking a cigar, he's honoring history. His humidor is perfectly seasoned. His lighter is always a cedar spill or maybe an old-school butane torch. Tommy believes every step matters. The cut, the toast, even the way you hold the stick between your fingers. You'll usually find Tommy in a leather chair, maybe with jazz on vinyl, and always with a neat Scotch in hand. He prefers legacy brands, the ones that have been around for more than 100 years. A Churchill Vitola? Perfect. A flashy band or flavored cigar? Not a chance. For Tommy, the cigar is a ritual. It's respect. And if you asked him for advice, he'd say, toast, don't torch. Respect the foot. It's not a blowtorch job. Next is Wally the Weekender. Wally isn't here for rules. He's here for good times. If the grill is fired up on a Saturday afternoon, Wally's already cutting a fat cigar. His lighter? Whatever's handy. Sometimes it's even a pocket knife doing the cut, and guess what? It works fine. Wally's cigars are bold, medium to full-bodied, lots of smoke output. He doesn't want pretense. He wants flavor. Something under $12 that can fog up the backyard while the steaks sizzle. He's easy to spot. Flip-flops, a ball cap, a bourbon and Coke in hand, and laughter that gets louder with every story. His motto, don't overthink it, light it, love it, repeat next weekend. Now let's meet Calvin the Collector. Calvin is meticulous. His humidor isn't just stocked, it's curated. He knows exactly which factory rolled that stick you're holding, and maybe even which roller. Rare releases? He's got them. Limited editions from 2008? Alphabetized. Calvin doesn't just smoke cigars. He tracks them, ages them, and photographs them. For Calvin, the joy is in the details. He smokes, yes, but half the fun is sourcing, storing, and logging every flavor note into a journal. His tip? Always buy 2. One to try, one to age. And you can bet he'll tell you exactly how that second one evolves after a few years of rest. Then there's Sabrina the Sophisticate. Sabrina brings elegance to every smoke. She prefers balance over raw strength, often reaching for boutique blends, creamy Connecticut's, or elegant Lanceros. Her ash? Perfect. Her cut? Precise. Her lighter? Probably a designer model. Picture this. Rooftop patio, sparkling wine on the table, jazz in the background, and Sabrina exhaling with grace. She smokes with knowledge, but she doesn't flaunt it. She just knows. Retrohale? She nails it. Fermentation process? She can explain it. Her advice? Match your mood, not the hype. A cigar should complement the moment. We'll be right back with more cigar personalities explained.
You're listening to the Cigar and Whiskey Podcast, your companion for cigar culture, whiskey wisdom, and everything in between. Want more? Visit us anytime at cigarandwhiskeyguide.com for articles, reviews, and pairing tips.
On the other end of the spectrum is Max the Minimalist. Max doesn't care about accessories or status. He probably doesn't even own a humidor, just a box. Sometimes he doesn't use a cutter either. He just bites the cap and lights up. For Max, a cigar isn't about showing off. It's about peace, quiet, a moment of calm. You'll find him by a campfire or lake, flannel shirt on, thermos in hand. He doesn't take selfies. He doesn't post his smokes. He just smokes. And if you asked Max for a tip, he'd smile and say, smoke what calms you, not what impresses others. Finally, we have Nico the Newbie. Nico is excited. He's clumsy, sure, but he's learning. Every cigar is an adventure. He's still figuring out the difference between a Maduro and a Connecticut. He's experimenting with samplers, asking questions, and yes, sometimes torching the foot a little too hot. But that's okay, because his enthusiasm is contagious. He's the guy who ashes on his shirt, laughs it off, and lights another. He may not know his favorites yet, but he's hooked. And with every cigar, his palate gets sharper, his knowledge deeper. If you asked Nico for a tip, he'd grin and say, "Try everything, that's the fun part." So where do you fit? Maybe you're Tommy, savoring the ritual with every puff. Maybe you're Wally, lighting up with friends whenever the weekend rolls around. Or maybe you're Nico, still learning, still exploring, and loving every step. The truth is, most of us are a mix. Sometimes we collect, sometimes we keep it simple. And that's the beauty of cigar culture. There's no right way. There's just your way. Cigars are about slowing down, about savoring, about enjoying the moment in whatever style fits you best. Before we wrap up, here's a little bonus perspective. Studies have shown that smokers often have distinct personality profiles. Some are more impulsive, some more ritualistic. Many score higher in openness to experience, which makes sense. Cigars, after all, are about exploration. They're about culture, tradition, and a willingness to sit down and savor. And there's an interesting trend happening too. Younger adults, especially Gen Z, are discovering cigars in new numbers. Boutique blends, sampler packs, and the social side of lounges are drawing a new generation into the culture. So that Nico type? He's not just a character. He's the future of cigar smoking. So, what's your personality? Traditionalist, weekender, collector, sophisticate, minimalist, or newbie? Whoever you are, remember this. Cigars aren't about rules. They're about moments. They're about people. They're about the stories told through smoke. Thanks for joining me today on the Cigar and Whiskey Guide podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, you'll find plenty more cigar stories, whiskey pairings, and lifestyle insights on our blog at cigarandwhiskeyguide.com. Until next time, light up, slow down, and enjoy the moment.
Thanks for listening to the Cigar and Whiskey podcast. Subscribe and share with a fellow aficionado, and keep the journey going at cigarandwhiskeyguide.com, where every puff and pour has a story.